Hello, I'm Micks Mowers, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I've been sent by H-calory one of these diesel heaters. Now, the H-calory, the H stands for heater, okay? So it's actually by calorie, okay? They told me to say that, apparently. They sent me this diesel heater. I've got another one, actually, that someone else has sent me from the same company. That'd be a different review. But in this video, I'm going to be reviewing this toolbox portable mobile diesel heater, which is specially designed for camping, that sort of thing, out trekking. As long as you have a power source, of which you can use a power bank, car battery, you can use a plug-in device, you can use pretty much a lot of different things to get this machine to work. The problem I've got is I've got a diesel heater already down the bottom end of my shed, and my shed is 10 foot by 20 foot, and it's insulated pretty well, but it is still a wooden shed. In the winter time, when I'm doing videos up this end of the shop, it takes a little while for the heat to transfer up to this side. So I thought, as it's a mobile unit, maybe I can use it, have it outside as and when I need it, just convert my shed a little tiny bit, and that way I'll have two heaters if I need them. But more importantly, as I'm working this end, I'll have more heat this end where I actually need it. Shut the doors and have some nice hot heat this end. But this is mainly designed to be bolted to the side of a caravan, RV, camper. It can go inside as long as you're careful with your exhausts, or you can have it outside on the ground with some kind of power bank source, and you can have the pipe running into a tent or into something like that. That's the idea. But I want to do a review on this one in particular because there are one or two different things that are different with this style of diesel heater than the generic one that you see on other selling sites. This one is fully portable, which is fantastic, and they have changed a few bits and pieces around on it too. So let's get it out of the box, quick little look at it, and then we get it all set up. Now, I have been busy pre-video adapting my shed to take this, and then I'll run you through the app procedure. It's got its own app and it's got all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, I'll run you through all the specs on it as we unpack it, have a little look. So let's go from there. If this is the first time you're watching Micks Mowers, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you next time I upload a video. So without further ado, let's get down dirty and let's get this toolbox heater from H-calory reviewed. Right, so here's the box. Now it does say on here, it's a diesel heater, car parking heater, diesel air car parking heater for cars, SUVs, trucks, engineering vehicles, new energy vehicles, RVs, indoors or RV tents. That's what it says. Safe to use, multi-vehicle modes for camping and indoor. That's what it says. So in the box you get another box with all your bits and your bobs, and then inside that box you get your actual heater itself. There it is. And in that box you get all your distractions and all that type of yummy stuff. Let's put that down on one side. Take that bit of packaging off. Boom. Right, and there is your heater. Now it comes with I think this one is a display sort of model, right? This isn't actually your final product. This is pre-release, because I believe the key fob that's going to come with this, not this one, but the new one, it'll have a power switch, temperature sensor, display, carbon monoxide tester as well, and speaker hole. So it will actually be a carbon monoxide tester as well. So that's a good thing. I actually have my own carbon monoxide tester in my shed anyway. Got to have them because I'm working with machinery. And in here you have a pretty comprehensive user manual as well. Okay, now it does come with its own Bluetooth app as well, which you can download, which we're going to download as well. But I want to do a quick little walk around on what you get, what you do before we get it all set up. So let's have a quick little look inside the box. Right, so in the box of bits, don't be put off by what bits you get, because it's pretty straightforward. You get a bracket to mount on the side of the heater. You get a multitude of what we call Jubilee clips and a fuel cap filter. You get the muffler for the exhaust. You get a piece of piping which is for your air blowing out, and that's 3.5 inches. Bit of a weird size, that one. You normally get 3 inches or 4. This is 3.5. You get a 3.5 inch wall mount as well, which you can screw to the side of your RV and what have you. it would have been nice if they actually did a universal one of these where it had a double connection so that you could put your pipe in and they have a nice flat finish on the outside of your RV too. That would have been nice. Rather than just have a nice face on the inside of your RV, it would look nicer to tidy it up on the outside, but that's what it is. You get this, which isn't a filter, it's just a particle blocker. This goes on the end of your air intake pipe. It doesn't actually have a filter inside, it is completely hollow. It doesn't do a lot other than just stop big particles coming out. You actually have your exhaust pipe there. You have an extension lead, which is for going from your LCD display, so you can actually remove the display and put that inside your RV. That's quite a good touch. You've also got a 12-volt connector there, so if you want to run off of a battery or off of a power bank, which has these fittings, you can then run off a 12 bank. And then what most people are now doing, which is a fantastic idea, they never did this originally, is they now come with a 12-volt 240 for the UK reducer. So you can actually reduce the voltage down to 12 volt from 240 and plug it into the mains, which is what I should be doing. So that's the box of bits that you get. Let's just put all that back and I'll show you inside the diesel heater, because that's changed as well. So here is the actual diesel heater itself. Here's your exhaust port and here is your air, hot air out. They've now moved that. It always used to be on the bottom of most diesel heaters, but they're now both on the same side, so hot, both coming out one side. And here is your air breather pipe coming in, and then your air system, which is where it actually draws the air through and accelerates that and turns it into hot air through there. So massive big 3.5 inch ports here. What you can also do with this display LCD kit here, if I just remove that little cable tie very carefully without scratching the screen, take that out. This will actually now, you can actually remove this LCD display screen, and if you just remove these two small screws, then what you can actually do is you can then use this plate here. You can then pull that out. That comes all the way up. You've got to go inside and disconnect it the other side. But then you can use your extension lead to actually extend your LCD. So you can have that mounted on the wall inside your RV, inside your tent or whatever. And when I say mount it inside your RV, I don't actually mean mount it inside, but here's your connector. And all you do is you just pull that out, right? And like so, you can get hold of it. There you go. Pull that out, right? And then you get your extension lead. You'd hook that end up to there. You can then run that lead all the way through. You get a bit more extension, and then you can then have that running like so. Now it's important. The reason why you might want to do that, and that is simply because the LCD display can be set for temperature control. So if you extend the LCD display unit and put that inside your tent or inside your RV or anything like that, and set your temperature to the minimum and maximum temperatures, then your diesel heater will cut in and cut out as and when you want it to, and you can control that via the app initially or do it on the screen. So if you want it set at 18 degrees, like you would here in the UK, just above sort of room temperature, put that inside your tent or your RV, set it to 18 degrees, and it will come in and cut off as and when you want the temperature to, rather than waking up and it be freezing cold. You can set it to do that. So that's a good little thing to do. I won't probably do it for what I'm using it for, but if I decide to go camping or anything like that, or caravanning and it hasn't got its own heater, that would be a good little feature to have. Right, so let's just plug that back in so we don't lose no bits and pieces, because I shan't be using it like that. Right, a couple of little tiny features that are slightly different. They now have this elbow clip on the exhaust, which comes down and away from the fuel line. So the fuel line is nowhere near the exhaust like it used to be. And this exhaust has now been heat wrapped as well, which is a fantastic idea. Further down inside the actual heater itself, let me just take my camera off and you can get a bit of a closer little look. My Riley boy's just turned up. Hi, Riley boy.
Hi, everybody.
What have you been doing?
We've Ghost biscuit.
You've been making ghost biscuits with Nana, have you? Fantastic.
What is it?
This is a diesel heater in for review.
Oh.
So, yeah, they've done a temperature wrap on the exhaust and put that out sideways. Fantastic idea. They have also the pump. They've also mounted the pump now in a little tiny sort of rubber bearing housing to try and stop some of the knock. So it's completely suspended. So that's a good little touch as well. And they are saying that this is a lot quieter. Now, I have seen some other videos, and when it's on full belt or sort of 8, setting 8 upwards, you can't even hear that annoying tap, 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 tap. You can on initial fire up as it's pumping, but you can't really hear it once it's up and running to a massive degree. It's all encased. They have now put a 6-litre fuel tank in here, which is very nice indeed, and it's all encased, so you know it doesn't move about. All metal here as well, which is nice to see. Bit of venting down the bottom, which is nice to see as well. Venting on the casing as well to give it a bit of venting. You can remove these pins off this door down the bottom, so you can take the whole door out for servicing. It doesn't look to be too hard to take it apart if you need to put a new glow plug in and stuff like that. Undo these screws here, one here and one here. That should remove the top section, take the tank out, and you can get involved into it if you want to strip it down. So that is what it looks like inside. Also, one note to make, they have now put an inline fuse in too, which is nice to see. A lot of the early ones didn't have them. So it's now fuse protected. If you have an electrical problem, it will just blow the fuse and it'll stop your machine from working. So that's a good thing too. Right, so some of these specs they would like me to feature in this video. I don't like normally being told what to say, but from what I can read through these features, these are the specifications. 36% higher fuel efficiency, aluminium, upgraded aluminium body, which I've just shown you, to enable faster and faster heating and reduce his diesel cost. Now, I have seen other videos of this exact heater, and on number 1 setting, the lowest, you can get 50 hours of burn time on a full tank, and on the highest setting, number 10, you can get 17.5 hours of burn time from full tank to completely running out and stopping the machine. So that is what you can expect to get. That is also dependent on your altitude, okay, because it might be burning leaner or richer. Wireless remote with CO protection, with built-in protection. Built-in sensor defects for dangerous carbon monoxide testing as well. It's got that, as I told you. It's got auto shut off for safe remote operation. With a quiet 90mm air duct with enlarged dust design, which lowers noise and resistance. So that's good. Auto altitude compression works reliably up to 5,500 meters, which you can set this via the app. So dependent on your altitude, you can go into the app and punch in your altitude, and the machine will set itself to run leaner or richer accordingly. So that's good. Smart, that's my phone ringing. Smart app and safety features control settings via the Bluetooth, the H-calory app, with full protection against overheating and short circuits. That's good. So that's what it has got. I'll put in some little tiny displays in the video now what it has actually got, show you, and then we'll cut to the chase. Let's just get it fitted and get it filled up and get it tested, see what it can and can't do. And I'll download the app via the user manual and log in. You have to log into the app, make an account. So I'll do that and I'll come back to you. Right, there's a couple of bits to do before we get started. You're going to need your air intake pipe, your particle blocker, whatever you call it, I think. And you're going to need a little bracket, comes with it, and a screwdriver. So it comes with, what I can see, 2 brackets. Now, I'm not actually fundamentally sure why it comes with 2. No idea why it comes with 2, because I'm only seeing 1 set of holes here, unless there's one on the other. I might be on the other side for the exhaust, maybe. I'll have a look in a minute. But literally, although it comes with 2 brackets and only 2 screws, so maybe I put an extra bracket in by mistake. I don't know. But this little tiny bracket here, that literally is going to screw into these little tiny holes up the top here, which are made for it. And all this does, it just holds your bracket up out of the way. Now, what I will say off the bat, and you know me, if I don't like something, I'll just tell you, that bracket would have been lush if it was just on the side here maybe, or something else. I mean, it's always going to be on the wrong side, isn't it, no matter what. So if they'd have put holes here and holes here, that would have been ideal. Little tiny screw fixture here. So there's not really much need for a Jubilee clip on that. That ain't going nowhere. That goes down through the bracket and then onto the air intake like that. And that will just sit there, but it isn't tight. So they do give you a little tiny assortment of what we call Jubilee clips here in the UK. That's quite small, that one. Let's just open it up a touch. So a decent size. That going to go in there, Mick? Yeah, it will. I'll go onto there. And then just have it run the right way to begin with, guys. Now the only other niggle is that goes into there. And that's actually, it only just protrudes out slightly, this little tiny bit here. So you've got to get it on, all the way on, and then just make sure that that's not all the way in. Otherwise you're going to struggle to get something on that. But it doesn't have to be super duper tight. It's just got to hold it. Which is, as you can see, if that just protruded just another 5mm, would have been lush. But I'm going to struggle to actually get anything onto that. I might just start it off just enough just to get it to sit. That's it. That's a bit better. Wants a touch more, Mick. Once this thing got it, it'll then sit on there and it's never coming back off then. Well, that's it. So you can see you can't physically get anything else in there. Would have been nice to have a hole in here. Then you can put a screwdriver through, straight in there. But that's on. And that's all good. So you've then also got your fuel filter, which undoes and just bung that straight on the top. So that stops any debris getting into your diesel, which is good when you're pouring it in there. So I quite like that. Nothing else goes around there. Around this side here, you've got your exhaust, which is cool. Now I'm going to have mine going round. It's going to go round. Let's have a little think about it. That's how mine's going to go. So I want mine to go round the corner. So I want mine to go round and away from my shed. That should just fit straight onto that. Ooh. That's a bit of a thing. Ooh, am I missing a point here? That really is a bit fiddly. I don't want to break nothing. It's just not quite so rounded as you would like. So I'm trying to get that just to sit on top of that exhaust. It all goes. It's quite a snug fit. There it goes. Right, that's on. That goes onto there, and again another little Jubilee clip. Now this time, because the exhaust pipe actually extends out quite a way, you can put that on, and then run your Jubilee clip on, which wants to go that way around. Let's just slacken that off a touch so I can run it round. Now these are all a bit. I mean, you could literally, if you were outside, you could just leave that as it is, right? But mine's going to be more fixed, okay? So I'm just going to run that Jubilee clip up. That's got. I don't want no leakages. That's lovely. I'm going to leave that as it is. I'm going to bend it out just a touch, and then you've got your muffler. Now, putting your muffler on will actually reduce the noise output 100%, right? It'll reduce it by loads. So make sure you've got your muffler on. Comes with a multitude of brackets, nuts and bolts and bits and pieces, so you can actually bolt this down to something if you wanted to. And then you've got your muffler. It doesn't give an arrow flow of which way round that goes. So it's unisexual, so to speak, and literally all we've got to then do is just put your muffler on. Put your Jubilee clip on first, Mick. It's just like Christmas, isn't it? Loads of bits to put together. Jubilee clip on first, and then got to somehow Oh, that's another tight fit too. One of them smaller. I don't know. There goes. Right, that's on. And then I can then put that onto there, and we're going to screw that one down. Make sure it's a good little fit. Now, because mine's gone on the shed, I could literally secure it, but I do want to bring this in when I'm finished with it. Okay, so that's my exhaust. I'm happy with that. I could also use this bracket here that they provided additionally, just to put that on and just secure my exhaust onto that. Okay, so that's good. And then the next thing I've got is I've got this pipe here, which I'm not going to put mine on just yet, because mine, as I say, is going onto my shed. So that pipe will go onto there with a Jubilee clip to hold that in place. Okay, and then this piece here goes on the other end with a Jubilee clip onto there. Okay, now in my wisdom, what I've done with mine is I'm going to put mine through that pre-made hole, so my heater is actually outside. Okay, and then I've got no problems with any type of exhaust fumes, nothing like that, but my heat will come in through that hole there. So let me show you what I've actually rigged up in my haste to do the video. So that's what I've rigged up. I'm going to put a little tiny lean-to roof on it with some felt. I've got trees above me, so I've got plenty of over canopy for weather protection. But I'm going to box it in a little tiny bit, just so it doesn't get wet. And then what I've done is I've drilled a hole all the way through my shed, like so, to put my duct in. So let me get set up, and I'll come back to you and show you what it looks like. Right, so let's get my heater. And that's going to live just there, like so. I could do another screw just in there just to hold that in, which I'll do it later on. That's wrong. Run that way. That's going to go. I bend my exhaust round so it doesn't attach to my shed. Perfect. Look at that. That's made to fit in there. So let's have a look. And this is going to be my setup. That's where it's going to suck air in from, and then it's going to blow the hot air into there, and the exhaust isn't touching my shed. I might just put a little bit of heat protection down there, but previous videos I've looked at and done myself with diesel heaters, it's not going to get that hot to have a problem there. But I might put a little bit of heat protection there. I could just slide it forward just a touch more, maybe, or just straighten the exhaust out so it blows across there. But either way, it's not a problem. So now we can go indoors, and we can now connect up my heat exchanger. Right, so I've now pre-drilled, as I said. I've got my thing here. That's going to go all the way through there and sit like that. Now I'm happy not to screw that in to the wall, because I'm going to have to remove it, because it is mobile, remove it, shut the little door down to stop any mice getting in there and what have you. But that can just sit in there like that, quite happy, and that can then blow the hot air through. Let me get it connected up to the heater, and I'll show you what that looks like. Right, so that's now all hooked up. So we've now got my hot air coming out, and I've just moved my exhaust to bend down slightly, which is good. And that's now all hooked up there. So now all I've got to do is supply a power source to it. And what I'm going to be doing is drilling a hole down underneath here, so I can have my power source coming down under the shelf and then into the workshop, and go from there. But like I say, I've got to build a little tiny lean-to shop for it, so I can leave it out here for extended periods of time whilst I'm working in the shed whilst it's raining. So at the moment I can't use it whilst it's lashing down with rain for obvious reasons. But once I build a little house for it, then that'll be more permanent, and I can just take it out by not using it, put it in my shed once it's cooled down, and I'm good to go. So let me get the power source set up and put some fuel in it, and then we'll try and fire this little puppy up. Right, so now all filled up, full tank diesel. 6 litres. Shut the door up. I might just get a little bungee cord just to secure it. They're quite heavy duty brackets, but the wall's not heavy duty, so. But that's good. I might get a little tiny bungee cord on there just to hold that back or something, just to take the weight off of that shelf. But now we're hooked up. Now what's left to do is I go into the user manual and download the app. If I have any problems with it, I'll let you know. But I think the app's going to be pretty much self-sufficient. And I've got to plug in and turn on the heater. I'll do that with you guys in a minute. So let me just get sorted out to get the app downloaded. Pardon me. And I'll come back to you. Right. So me diesel heater is now plugged in, turned on, or just plugged in. I'm going to add a device. Allow H-calory to find and connect and determine. Yeah, okay, right, allow that. Right, pulled that up straight away. It's searching. I'm assuming that's a 1. Bluetooth is not connected. Bluetooth not connected. Okay, so hang on. Did it standby? Oh, it's in standby mode. It must have connected. There you go. It's got Bluetooth setting on there now, so that's good. Blow wind. So it's got a high altitude on there. See a high altitude? So you can change that, and you can change the heating or just blow air, whatever you want to do. It's got a settings control there as well, so you can change your Bluetooth password. Now, one thing with this app, it hasn't actually asked me to log in and do anything yet, or make an account. It's just literally gone straight into it. Okay. You can change the language, timer settings. You want to set a timer, user help and feedback. So that looks pretty good. So first thing I want to do, actually, I just want to prime this this system up before I actually use it, because there's no point in actually turning this machine on until it's all primed up. So you need to make sure that you prime your right. So with that now all powered up, here it is here, look. That's all powered up. So now what you're supposed to do, it says P30, P13 there. You're supposed to hold these 2 buttons down and that should prime it. And you should start to hear a little green light comes on, and that is now priming it, but you have to do it manually, right? So let's open this up so we can see what's going on. Open the old box up. Boom. And we're now going to hold them 2 buttons down. And this is for first time ever firing up. So push those 2 buttons in, and then that little green light comes on, and then you'll start to see fuel coming down from the pipe and into the actual pump. You can see it just there. And the second that you stop, let go of the buttons, it'll stop doing it. Okay, so just going to hold them down again. Just want to try and get rid of some of this air. Now, if you don't do this initially, then what happens is the machine will not fire up because there's no fuel in it. So let's just get some fuel down in here. You want to see fuel coming out the other side and going up into the actual chamber. So it takes a little while. But what I will say, off the bat, that pump's already quieter. So we're pumping. Right, I think that should be sufficient. Okay, so let's now turn it on. On, please. What if I hold it down? Right, so now what we can see is cold air being sucked in. Warm air to be expelled yet, but this will go red here in the centre, okay? So we've got cold air being sucked in here. Let's just give it 2 or 3 seconds. It's on setting number 4. Let's give it 2 or 3 seconds and then we'll move over to the app. Right, so now we're getting a little bit of noise coming out of this machine. And it's starting to pick up. So sometimes they do smoke, guys, okay, but don't be put off by it, okay? But it's starting now to accelerate. Just checking for any leaks, which we haven't got any, so that's good. I will say that pump is so quiet, it's not even funny. Really quiet. So now the Bluetooth app is now running, which is good. And we can now control the diesel heater with the app, which is a fantastic thing, right? So it's running in what we call gear mode. Now you can set it to high altitude, which we don't want high altitude on. We want it just on normal. We want it on heating. There is a little tiny smell of exhaust fumes. I'm guessing this is just where the initial burn off is going on. Okay, not a lot, just a little. I can just got a whiff of it. This might just be the news where it's had all the, you know, all the oils that are put in it to make it. So just be conscious of good air ventilation in an initial fire up. It's showing that the ambient temperature is 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and inside the body is 140. It's climbing. Okay, and my height is 0. 12 volt coming in, so that's good. We can custom scene it if we want to, but don't do any of that. So let it just run through its mode. Settings 1 to 4. You can just add or take them away, and I'm going to get my temperature gun out and see what sort of temperature will start kicking out of this diesel heater, and we'll go from there. And just for context, here's my my temperature sensor, and it also does humidity. It also does carbon monoxide. I have another carbon monoxide tester as well. It says it's 17.6 in here, and what I will say is already I can feel the heat coming out of this machine. So let's have a quick little feel. Oh my lord, lovely. That is beautiful. Come here, dog. So there is a little tiny smell just of new burn off smell. Probably where this exhaust will have to burn off a little tiny bit anyway. We're going to close this up now because we've got no fuel leaks, which is good. So let me get my temperature gun, and I'm going to set this thing up. I'm going to run it up to number 10 on its highest, and then we'll go from there. What I might do, I might get one of those adapters for this, so I can change the direction of the heat. I might just do that, but that'll be on another job. Let me get my heat gun, and I'll come back to you. Right, so at the moment, let's have a quick little look. Let's put that into there. 159, 160 degrees there. Okay, that's how hot that is. Let's just check we can of that just actually inside the cabinet, 64 degrees low. That's good. Let's just check this pipe here, the black one. 120 degrees. That is there. Exhaust. 90. So actually the 100 and something there. 162 degrees, the muffler. Muffler is 70 odd degrees. Body, I'm just by the exhaust, 70 degrees. That's all good. 6 degrees, right, that's good. Right, so it is now pumping heat in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this up via the app, okay? Turn it up the full belt. So I'm going to get this machine up and running. It's no good to me just ticking over. We want it so that it runs lush. So here we go on the app. It's on setting number 4. It's not on high altitude because it's not high, but I'm right down by the coast here. Can I change that temperature there from temperature settings, timer settings, user. Yeah, Celsius, yeah, lovely. And we do it in feet. No, leave it in meters. Oh, yeah, leave it in feet, yes, perfect. Because I'm over in English. So we're 19 degrees, it says here, ambient temperature, and it says 17.6 here. That's good. Let's pump it up then. Right, it's on 10 high. Yeah, 10 high. So now, what should happen is this should now start to ramp up. Okay. Now what I will say is, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear that? There's certainly no ticking. No ticking at all. None. Right? But what I will say is there is a white noise, for a better word. Let me know how bad it is. I'll better hear it on the video back, but let us know how bad that white noise is. I'll be doing videos in here. But what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to shut this door up. That cap isn't leaking, it's just where I spilt a bit of diesel beforehand. But there's no smoke without fire. So now I'm going to pull this door to. I've got to just rig up my electrics so that I can run them through the wall the same as the actual, oh my God, I feel that heat already, through the side. And I've actually got a catch here for my door, so I can actually shut the door up. So that's not going to pinch that cable, that'd be just right. Lovely, there's a bit of a gap there to be fair, I need to do a bit of fixing on that. That door's come a bit of a drift. So now, we're going to run this heater up. So it should be on number 10, and it should ramp right up. Okay. Already, I will say off the bat, already I am feeling the heat coming off of this blower already. I'm already feeling that. So that's good. So temperature has come up by 1 degree. It's already 18 degrees in here. That's good. So let's just quick check the app. See what the app is doing. It says air body temperature now inside the machine is 200 degrees inside the actual blower itself. 13 volts is pulling, which is great, and it's 19 degrees ambient temperature outside. Okay, so that's good. So already, the hot air coming out of here is amazing. You can't put your hand there for too long, I'm telling you. 194 degrees centipede in there, 200. 203, you can't keep your hand there. That's not even a joke. You just cannot keep your hand there. That's nuts. Oh man, that's so nice. Oh, that's too hot for me to keep my hand there. I can't keep my hand there. So yeah, what I want to do is just get one of these, but have it so it's directional. Like that. That's lush. Sorry for jerking camera. But I'm telling you already, it seems to be a downward flow to that. That's pushing the air down here. Let me try and turn that around that way maybe, or around that way. That's better. Around that way, that's bringing the heat round here. Good. So it's just over 18 degrees in here. I'm going to let the machine run for about, let's go for about 25 minutes. Let it run 25 minutes and see how much it warms this shed up. But already I'm feeling the heat off of this machine already. So yeah, at the moment, all looking good. Right, diesel heater from H-calory, or from calorie, because H stands for heater. So it's actually, I think it's actually calorie. The light is fading because it's knocking on. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, Johnny. Now I've had that heater running for about 20 minutes, okay? Door shut. I do have to do some draft excluding for my door because my door has moved slightly. So I've got to sort that out at some point and plug in some holes because there's some holes. But when I started this video, it was 17.6 degrees in my shed, wasn't it? Yeah. This has been running for 20 minutes, okay? 20 degrees, 66% humidity, okay? Ignore the time because the time's wrong. But it says it's happy apparently. 20 degrees C. Now what I have done is, because I was getting, just the heat was going down this wall, okay? So I've just extended the pipe slightly and bent it round so it's actually blowing at me, okay? So I can also tip back down from the dog if need be because she likes to sleep in here. But now, I've also changed my thing over to 2 degrees centigrade. It's on Fahrenheit. Didn't know that. But now, on degrees, on centigrade, not on Fahrenheit, centigrade, it's 90 in there, 95s. That's red hot. That is hot. You wouldn't normally, you can't, literally my hand is that far away from the camera, right? And you can't keep your hand there for very long. All right. 95 degrees in there. Let's just go outside. It's warm in here. So here's the heater. It's on number 10. Full pelt. It's working lovely. So this is saying it's 67 degrees in there, but literally you can put your hand on that, no problem. Okay, it's very, very, very toasty, but you can hold it for as long as you like. So exhaust, 90 odd degrees, 60 degrees, 90s. Muffler, 45 degrees, so it does actually do a good job on the muffler. But right where you'd expect it to be hottest, 80 degrees, 113 just then, 120, 130. Oh yeah, that's hot in there. So that's good. Inside this cabinet, 28 degrees in there. Lovely. It's not even remotely warm. In fact, it's actually very, very cool. So that's good. So all that's left for me to do is got to put a few more screws in just to stop that from warping over. I'm going to put a bungee cord on there just to hold it over just a touch. Take the weight off. And I'm going to build a little tiny lean-to against that. Boom. Just so I can leave it outside if I want to, but I'm not going to. I literally will just disconnect it and bring it back indoors as it is. So yeah, really happy with that. I might shorten the exhaust slightly and put a bracket on there just to hold that exhaust up. But all in all, actually, for a diesel heater, I'm actually mildly impressed with it because it does everything via the app. Come on, Pip, here. So yeah, heat is blowing out beautifully, and it's blowing right across the shed, which is what I want. 60 odd degrees there, 70s, yeah, lovely. And you can control it all via the app. That's what I like about it. I have just changed the password on the app because it was 4 zeros from default. It's now 20.1 degree in here. And it's running on gear on the app. It's not connected at the moment, but it will just connect. There it goes, it's connected now. And you can just turn that down to whatever one you want. Number 6, say. And it will do that. Oh, change mode. So change mode from temperature to gear. So if you want to change it to temperature mode, to set the temperature you can do, just leave it on gear. I'll leave mine on gear, that's fine. Auto stop start. So if you want to stop it, you can do it via the app. So let's just try that. Deactivate the device. Confirm. The device is shutting down. Do not power off. The process lasts for about a few minutes. Okay, so you can turn it off via the app. Now a diesel heater is now starting, it's turned off, but it has got to go through a rundown period. There are other YouTubers that just say they just turn them off, it's fine. But it will now just start to burn off any excess fuel that you have inside the chamber and start to just burn it all off, and then it will cool itself, it will blow itself. That's the important thing, it blows itself cooler. After 10 minutes you can just disconnect that and away you go. So that's all good. Let's see what the app says. The device is still shutting down. Do not power off. So I'm assuming it's going to tell you when you can actually power the device off. Now, if I build a lean-to for this, then what I can then do is leave it outside, you know, if it's going to be a dry night. And then in the morning, when I come down to the kitchen, flip the kettle on, I'm going to the app, and I can then just literally turn the heater on via the app. And by the time I've made a cup of coffee, it will already be up to a decent temperature. I mean, it gets pretty cold here in the UK, not as cold as other parts in the world, but it gets down to about -10, I've had it. And if it's -10 outside, it's -10 in my shed. It's as simple as that. But by putting the heating on for an hour, and bearing in mind you can get 50 hours of runtime on 1 and 17 hours on 10, with it running for an hour, you're not even using a litre of diesel. Diesel's cheap enough, and go from there. So that is now starting to blow again. It's shut down and now it's just starting to blow. It's just the air's just picked up. But that will now start to blow slightly cooler air. Okay, slightly, it's just starting to cool down. So there you go. Not a bad little diesel heater, if I must say so myself. And I've reviewed a few. I've got a few, but I like these newer ones. They're very good. It would have been nice just to have more of a selection of accessories with regards to directional stuff, you know, where you can actually change the direction of the fans. That'd be a good thing to have, but you can buy them cheap enough on Amazon, eBay and whatever anyway, so that's not a problem. What don't I like about it? I don't like the fuel cap. I think the fuel cap could be a bit more robust with a rubber seal in there, just for easy use. I like the handle, that's quite good. The air intake pipe could be to one side or give you a variant, give you some choices. But these are all picky because that just didn't suit me. It would have been nice to have it more waterproof, more sealed in, so that it is more protected from the elements. So smaller holes to stop mice and things getting in there if need be. And the LCD display, if that was more encased, so it was more waterproof, that would be ideal. Again, it's all subjective. If it's going to be outdoors in Canada, freezing cold, then you want to have that sort of protection. But apart from that, I'm struggling to find negatives about it. I'm struggling. For what its purpose is to heat an area, that will definitely do it. So yeah, super happy with that. And hopefully I'll get many years of heating out of it. Now winter is just coming in. We're coming into October and or midway through October, and winter is definitely on its way. And one of the biggest things I hate about doing what I do on YouTube is coming down here and freezing my bottom off. It'd be so much nicer now to have this diesel heater down here. I can just turn it on, plug it in, and not be cold. I don't think it's extra especially noisy with it having outside, so yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, it gets a thumbs up from me. It's as simple as that. And we'll go from there. So I'll be using it all the way through winter. I might come back and give you an update on how it's doing, and go from there. But I have got another one here from the same company, so I've got to do another review on that one, and I think that's going to go down to my sister's house, and they're going to have it outside as a backup heater. Just instead of putting on the central heating, they're going to have that going through their cat flap, just to bring some extra cheap heat. And that's what it's all about. Over in the UK, we're in a cost of living crisis. Putting the heating on is expensive, but if you can get one of these diesel heaters just to heat one room, just to keep you warm, perfect job. So there you go. If you like the video, Micks Mowers and Merman, hit the subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told next time I upload another video, and I look forward to you guys next time Micks Mowers very soon. But until then, don't forget, much more importantly, take her easy.